Alright, quick video response, hopefully. Some guy, hip for the day guy, 71. Whatever. So, first video response on this new channel, Draft Science. And so, yeah, we'll just talk about speculation on science and its significance and scientific type subjects, you know. It's probably going to be mostly physics. Yeah, there's the rest of the stuff we know. Yeah, you know, pretty good. Anyway, so, let's play this video. It's a good idea. Play this video. Yep, it's a good idea.
Hi there.
Yep. Hey, D.
Right, so you're maintaining that quantum mechanics has nothing to do with free will, I think. That's what the current debate is about the connection. And you're denying the link between free will and determinism.
The link between free will and determinism. Now, there is no link. They're separate frickin' goddamn concepts. I'm denying that I'm denying that quantum mechanics proves the non-existence of cause and effect, okay, on the subatomic level. I'm denying that even if there was some loopy, non-causal, random, or spontaneous activity within the smallest quanta of energy in the universe, as long as that randomness is confined to a minute probability, I mean a variation, it's irrelevant to our intellect, how we function, just as it's irrelevant to a silicon chip running a computer or the software on the computer that can, theoretically, we could shoot it into space in a probe and it could fly around for millennium and just keep doing its job over and over and over without any quantum defects. And we are on that level of the universe. We are reliable, solid-state instruments. Your belief in the golden bunny rabbit has absolutely nothing to do with any kind of quantum fart. Okay? I mean, because a photon farts, it is not going to make you, you know, stick mashed potatoes in your nose. You do that because you're a fucktard.
That seems silly. And determinism is then linked to causality, and quantum mechanics raises these issues about causality.
No, it doesn't, okay? It's only this perversion of quantum mechanics that raises some question regarding causality. All quantum mechanics says is we can't, there's this uncertainty principle, there's this idea that we can't see the entirety of certain portions of the universe, okay? If we see their velocity, we can't see their mass. If we see this part, we can't see that part. So we can't necessarily define precisely when we have some sort of information, right? Say the impact. We get information through that, but that doesn't give us enough because, you know, to sit there and diagram exactly where it came from. So we have to narrow it to a probability, to do the possibility, the realms, okay? Because there is this fudgeable space that we can't define. But it has nothing to do with saying that there are photons going through two slits at once. That's an interpretation of quantum mechanics. That's not quantum mechanics.
Determinism. You know, you go on about describing and predicting are not the same things. You know, there is nothing else with meaning. You can't describe something without having it make predictions. That's the scientific process.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not. They're two different things, okay? I mean, I can roll dice and I can figure out what the end results are, and I can write a probability curve. And I don't have to know anything about the mechanics of dice rolling, what they're banging on, how they're banging. I don't have to know any of that crap. All right, to make predictions and reliable predictions. I can predict that if you let a drunk guy drive a bus, there's a certain probability that you're not going to get where you want to go. Yeah, and I don't have to know exactly how the alcohol messed up his brain to be able to make those predictions. Conversely, I can know great detail about a system All right, but if I don't sit there and run the system a whole bunch of times, I'm not going to be able to make any predictions about what the system will do. All right, that's sort of like the weather. I mean, we know weather, okay? We know a lot of mechanics, but we haven't stored enough information. We stored a lot, but we just don't have enough yet for the computer models to get everything right every time.
It's no good to say to somebody, yeah, I can describe how it really works. It all really works this way. But you can't prove it. You can't make no prediction. That really is just philosophy and not science.
I don't even know what that means, but whatever. The quantum mechanics is not, strictly speaking, okay, science. It's strictly speaking a shortcut, a very effective one, a useful one, a purposeful one, okay, because it makes every bit of sense to sit there and say, look, we know these things, they have a quality, all right? It's not just the quantum isn't the quantum. That's sort of what quantum mechanics is saying. As much as it wanted to sit there, it was designed to say that, look, this is the smallest bits of energy, we'll call this a 1, and now we can do all our math based on the 1. Well, then we found out the 1 isn't necessarily a 1. The 1 is a half, a quarter, a tenth. You know, there's some sort of nuance to the 1 itself, and so that's where this quantum mechanics had to evolve to take into account for the fact that there are some other factors. And so some people said, let's just leave it a missing variable. Let's just say we can't define exactly what the influences are. And another camp said, no, let's try to sit there and argue through it, and let's make up some stuff, and we'll call it a wave packet, or we'll call it some other kind of dopey thing. And you know, it's just about labels, and frankly, that's all it is. It's just about labels. I mean, whether we call it a wave packet or an unknown variable, it's the same fucking thing.
You know, you go on in your previous video about Pyro should make an argument. Well, maybe you should turn the camera back on yourself.
Yeah, what? Yeah, exactly. And I explained that. Well, I really don't have time to debunk, okay, a bunch of golden bunny rabbit theories. You know, the Jolly Green Giant. I mean, I'm sure I could go out and debunk people who say the Jolly Green Giant really lived. I mean, I could go out and do a bunch of research and say how he was created as a marketing gimmick and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to waste my fucking time doing that. All right? And I'm just saying that Pyro's coming up with a very extraordinary claim. He's saying that the photon is in two places at once. It's interacting with itself, and it's essentially having sex and an orgy and an orgasm and all this crap, and then all of a sudden it goes boom back into the real universe again and lands like an everyday, oh no, I'm an innocent photon, I wasn't on any kind of weird ass adventure. Come on, okay? He says an extraordinary motherfucking claim, and let's just do the Carl Sagan thing, and let's meet that extraordinary claim. Let's back it up with some kind of really hard-ass, solid steel kind of evidence. And they don't got that. What they got is a fluky goddamn two-slit experiment, which, again, I will state, I've got to see the variations on that experiment. I got one guy who shoots the damn stupid, light laser thing, at a needle, and he creates diffraction. Okay, so now let's try it with two beams on one needle. Let's try different variations. And what I really want to see is the different focuses, because to me, this might be more about energy levels of photons creating different possibilities of diffraction. I mean, they can only diffract 10%, 20%, 30%, and that's why you get these bars. Because there's energy levels, just like in atoms. You've heard of the energy levels. You know, they can only bounce from like this place to this place to this place. There's no in-between orbits in the old Newtonian diagram of an atom. There's no in-between orbits. Okay, there's only energy, solid, locked-in positions that these orbits can be in. Photons maybe can have the same kind of disposition, and so they can only diffract all this much, or this much, but none of this in-between crap. So whatever, I'm just saying there's explanations, and you're saying that we have to accept the wackiest, craziest explanations, and that's science, And it's not scientific to say, wait, slow down, let's compile more evidence before we start describing this fucking golden rabbit, which might just be a blob of cow shit.
Respect. You know, you make such wild and unmeaning, sweeping statements with no actual information content to about.
Well, why don't you quote that? Why don't you quote the wild and sweeping and blah, blah, blah? You didn't quote it, so I can't really argue in my defense, can I? No. It's just one of these standard operations.